Hello. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Let me introduce myself. My name is Jasmine Demi anak Deni Cabing. I am in my third year of Bachelor of Engineering, majoring in Mechanical Engineering. Figuring out inner workings of a machine and how components work together has always been a passion of mine. The topic I'll be talking about today is occupational safety and health, also known as OSHA. Have you ever thought, how safe is our parents at their workplace? Or how safe will we be in our future workplace? The chart by the National Safety Council of the United States showed that between 2017 and 2018, preventable work-related death increased 2%, from 4,414 to 4,293, while the death per rate per 100,000 remained steady at 3.1%. At the same time, total work-related death increased 2% from 5,147 to 5,250. According to the International Labour Organization, estimates that some 2.3 million women and men around the world succumb to work-related accidents or diseases every year. This corresponds to over 6,000 deaths every single day. Worldwide, there are around 340 million occupational accidents and 160 million victims of work-related illnesses annually. In 2013, it was reported that every 15 seconds, a worker dies from a work-related accident or disease. Every 15 seconds, 151 workers have work-related accidents. Isn't this alarming? But the question is it possible to bring down the incident rate to zero? How do we do that? Zero. It means nobody gets hurt at work. It is impossible though, as accidents can't be predicted. However, we can take preventive measures to ensure that the safety of workers at the workplace are well taken care of. The reason I chose this topic today is because employers and employees sometimes neglect their safety as they are too focused in getting their work done. OSHA regulations help reduce future incidents by identifying potential hazards, reviewing safety procedures with employees to make sure they are well known, and record-keeping information about events. Now, what is OSHA? OSHA was established to provide safety, health, and welfare among all workforce and to protect others against risks to safety or health in connection with the activities of person at work. This act was gazetted in Malaysia on the 24th of February 1994 and may be cited as the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. OSHA regulations look a bit different for each industry, and this is because every profession presents its own set of health and safety risks. Before we dive deeper into the topic, we should ask ourselves, why do work-related accidents happen? Accidents can happen at any time. Obviously, they're not intentional, and there are infinite possibilities for something to go wrong. However, we can avoid many accidents by taking certain precautions to ensure that the most likely mishaps will not occur. Here are some common causes of workplace accidents. First, lifting. It is so easy to injure yourself while lifting heavy objects. Next, lighting. Poor lighting can be a major cause of trips, falls, and other workplace injuries. Therefore, every area of the workplace should be well lit. Trips and falls are consistently one of the leading causes of workplace injuries. Slippery floors, improper footwear, rushing employees, and weather conditions all contribute to trip and fall hazards. Other than that, poor housekeeping. A messy workplace is a dangerous workplace. Objects and debris on the floor pose tripping hazards. Wet or dirty floors can cause slips. Cluttered surfaces can conceal sharp objects, and poorly contained chemicals are an obvious hazard. Lastly, lack of preparation. No one should ever be on the job without the proper knowledge, training, certification, tools, or PPE. Just imagine working in an environment where there are very few safety regulations and little safety equipment. Think of how it was for employees of a steel manufacturing plant to work where there are almost no safety regulations and safety hazards all around them. This is how the work environment was before 1970. There were only few laws or regulations that required employers to maintain certain safety standards or working conditions for employees. However, in 1970, President Richard Nixon of the United States sought to change all of this by signing into law the Occupational Safety and Health Act. OSHA has helped cut workplace fatalities and workplace injuries. Here are some reasons why employers and employees should follow the safety and health regulation. First, destruction of human life is ethically unfair, and by practicing safety techniques, occupational accidents can be reduced. Next, if employers do not take initial safety measures, this entitles them to be decently accountable for those accidents. For example, construction companies were charged with negligence, which results in accidents causing the death of one employee and injury to another in 2019. They were charged a maximum fine of Rm50,000 or imprisonment upon conviction. This is an example of the consequences if the employers do not follow the safety regulations. Employers need to recognize that there are hazards prevailing at the workplace, and therefore all precautions should be taken. Employers risk a lot when they perceive that safety is no longer a priority, or when they divert all the resources made available for the health and safety departments elsewhere. Hazard identification, prevention, and mitigations are the most important elements in reducing occupational accidents and illness. There are several ways to reduce risks of work-related deaths or injuries, such as safety training for employees. Employee training is an integral part of any safety program. Employees who are trained and have learned safe work practices are less likely to show hazardous behavior and subsequently will result in lower rate of incidents and injuries. It is important to note that for a training program to be effective, it needs to be based on a thorough analysis of the tasks and safe work practices. Nowadays, numerous training programs are available for companies to train their employees with relatively low prices, either online distance education or with instructors for a live class. This makes it more affordable to have frequent safety trainings for employees at 1-year intervals to make sure that they are up to date with recent safety issues. Next, have a qualified and competent person on site. A competent person is someone who, through training and/or experience, is knowledgeable of the various Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA) standards that apply to their workplace, and is capable of identifying workplace hazards relating to their specific operations, and has the authority invested in him or her by the employer to correct the hazards to protect workers. Therefore, it is the employer's responsibility and based on the employer's judgment to determine who can be a competent person with needed skills and qualifications for a certain type of task. As a conclusion, through this short talk, I hope that work-related deaths and accidents can be reduced. Accidents do happen, but those can be avoided in many cases. Occupational safety and health should be the core value, not just a priority. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me.